Greetings, everyone. Are you sick and tired of buying programs to grow your business and you do not get results? If you're a business owner, executive, CEO, and even you are entrepreneur and you want to create high ticket programs that guarantee results. In case you don't know me, I am Yousaf from Islamabad, Pakistan. I'm founder of Integrated Success Formula, founder of Integrated Success Marketing, and host of Instant Publicity interviews. Today we have very amazing guest with us and your energy will be boosted. He is Chief Movement Maker, Summit host, and expert in small business success. He helps entrepreneurs to create high ticket program that guarantee results. Give me a warm welcome to our today's guest, Tom Matzen. Welcome, Tom.
Welcome, Salim Alaikum. Thanks so much for hosting us. I'm super excited to share, and thanks for that great invite. Wow, you're nice and prepared. I like that. That's awesome.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to start your journey as a motivational speaker and start high ticket programs?
Two different parts to that, because I've been an entrepreneur for 37 years. Also, let me answer the speaking part and the high ticket part separately. The speaking part, I actually shared this story in a summit yesterday for the first time in years. I was attending an audience in the Hotel Vancouver, a large old hotel in Vancouver, 500 people in the room. And as often I was a young lad, I would be in the front row early, getting ready for the talk. And this distinguished older gentleman came up to me and sat down and started asking me some questions and just chatting. And it turns out he was one of the speakers. I didn't know him. I was there for a different speaker. And he introduced himself and we started talking. And I later learned that he incorporates those conversations into his talk on the main stage. It was brilliant, but he found out about my background and the amount of businesses I'd started. And he goes, well, are you speaking? And I'm like, oh, no, I'll be doing that later in my career. Right now I'm focusing on doing this. He goes, that's ridiculous. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, you've learned a bunch of things. You have an obligation to share those things. I know there's guys that run the Association of Collegiate Entrepreneurs at a local university. I'm going to call them, give me your card. You're going to start speaking. And it wasn't like, would you like to? It was like, you're going to start. And Vic Lindell was his name. And that's exactly what happened. I started sharing my wisdom and knowledge. And I realized that as entrepreneurs, as leaders, we do have a moral obligation to share the lessons learned. And they're not always good lessons. I've made a lot of mistakes. I learn more from my mistakes than my wins. So if you're listening in, and I say the same thing to you, if you've got knowledge and wisdom, you need to get out there and start sharing it, especially now in these crazy, chaotic times. It's more important than ever that we help each other grow and improve and, as I say lately, survive and thrive. So that was the speaking beginning. And since then, I've done, I don't know, well over 1,000 presentations across the world, 4 continents. Hundreds of thousands of people live, probably millions now cyber. So I really took his advice. In fact, yesterday we had 18 interviews on a global summit. I spoke on one and interviewed 17 other people on a summit on direct marketing. So my voice is just recovering from the full day of speaking yesterday. So that's the speaking side. On the high ticket program side, I had been selling high ticket programs before, but what I do now, where we guarantee results for our clients, came from a disaster. Actually, a really good insight. I had put together a launch with 3 other partners. We were going to do webinars. We were guaranteeing 6 figures of revenue. We did 425,000 in sales in 32 days. We were excited. And it was half up front, half when we did the 100,000 in sales, and off we went. And in the next 6 months, we got our butts handed to us. We couldn't fulfill. It was the first time in my entire business career where I completely, absolutely couldn't fulfill. And in the middle of this 6-month period, I did an interview talking about guarantees and risk reversals on a summit. And the host of the summit, he specializes in teaching people scalable businesses, Frank Bria. In fact, he wrote the book called Scale. And we were talking about this problem. And I said, because I was using the example of the guarantee because, you know, at least they didn't have to pay for it all because we weren't able to get them to the finish line. And he's like, well, let's talk about scale. And I realized in that conversation that we had sold a program that wasn't scalable. We'd sold a program that wasn't scalable. And scalable, most people think scalable means simply grow, have more. That's not scalable. That's more sales or more marketing. Scalable, by Frank's definition, is you get a new client and no more work for you. Maybe more work for your team, maybe work for your vendors, but no more work for you. That's truly a scalable program. That's a high bar, by the way, a very high bar definition. So we help people create programs where it's a little extra work for you. No work, it's a high bar. You need to develop a lot of extra systems for that. I now realize. But it was a turning point. I happened to be at one of our live events, and one of my mentors was at the event. And so I pulled him aside. We met for breakfast, and I said, Mitch Russo is his name. Is Mitch, we got this problem, da-da-da-da. We sold a non-scalable program, da-da-da. He said, well, you know what you got to do? And I'm like, what? He goes, you got to refund their money. I go, well, no, the contract was such that they pay half up front, we do all this work, and they only pay us the rest if we do this. He said, no, I'm not saying the contract says you have to refund the money. You have to refund the money.
Okay, great.
What do you mean? He goes, well, you shouldn't have sold them it. And I go, holy cow, you're right. So as it turns out, all my other partners were at this event. We met that morning. We agreed to do it. We're still paying some of them back. It's taken a long time because we had spent the $200,000. We'd put it into trying to get them going. But he was absolutely right. We shouldn't have sold them a program that we weren't able to deliver results. Even though it wasn't willful, we didn't do it on purpose. It was just, we shouldn't have done that. And that got me on a search that led to what we do now, which is creating scalable programs that do guarantee results for clients. And it completely changed the game that we play.
Okay. Hey, Tom, you are doing a lot of amazing work, and I am so much impressed by the story you told me about how you became speaker as well. It was very amazing, by the way. Okay, great. What are your immediate plans to grow your business?
We have 3 divisions. Our main focus, though, since COVID hit, is to take our core division, which is the high ticket program division, and give away scholarships. We, as a test late last year, we gave away $1 million worth of our high ticket programs just to see how it would work. We had just done a big summit. We had surveyed the people in the summit, and it was the biggest summit we'd ever done. 90 speakers, tens of thousands of people from across the globe, and all online. And we surveyed them afterwards, and one of the questions we asked was how much money they were making. And this summit had, startup, first 100,000, first million, and scaling to 8 figures. So we were attracting people across the spectrum. And in a blind survey where people tend to lie about how much they make, they tend to round up a little bit. The average person was making $32,000. I mean, I live in Vancouver. You can't buy a door on a house in Vancouver for $32,000 because the average home is 1.1 million. So we're like, holy cow, we need to help them. So we decided to give away $1 million worth of scholarships. My partner and COO, David Kellum, he suggested this. I said, what are you thinking? He said, we've done it. I go, well, that's really cool. Let's try it. And we knew that it would have some goodwill and we might get some referrals down the road and we might get some upgrades, but we weren't doing it for that reason. We were doing it because we wanted to help our tribe. And we gave away $1 million worth of scholarships in about 3.5 weeks. And then this most amazing thing happened. We got more referrals. We got more upgrades. We got more revenue from those people than we ever expected in the next couple of months. And so over the Christmas break, we were doing strategic planning and we were like, well, if that works, why don't we do more of it? It's pretty easy to give away a high ticket program, right? It's pretty easy. It's not a difficult sales call. Let's put it that way, right, Mohammed? And so we said, you know what? Instead of $1 million, let's give away $10 million worth of scholarships this year, 2020. And we started down that path and we're now up to 2.5 million. And we're so proud of that. But as that happened, COVID hit and all this craziness hit. And one of my mentors challenged me to step up. And now we've shifted the target. Our goal is to give away $100 million worth of scholarships. That's 10,000 of our $10,000 programs. So we got a lot of work left. That's our main. There's other elements to our strategy for the year, but our main focus is to literally give away 10,000 programs to 10,000 entrepreneurs and teach them how to have a high ticket program that they can deliver amazing results on in two worlds. They're an authority, or they research and become like a reporter authority. There's two worlds of authority, right? There's your own experience, and there's learning from other people that have made mistakes like me, and that category. And so both categories apply for that. So we'll make sure we get you the link so you can post it below this. If people are interested, they're welcome to go check it out. Not everyone qualifies for the scholarship, but right now, I think the last time we ran the numbers, 79% of the people that apply get the scholarship. So most people get it. And it's kind of cool because right now we're super busy doing these summits and everything else, all to drive scholarships. And, most people are scrambling to raise $10 to cover their bills right now. And so, I have a feeling that we're creating a model that more people are going to copy down the road. I hope so, because it turns out it's a good business strategy. We knew it was a good personal strategy, helping people out, but it also is a good business strategy. Right. So we're pretty excited.
Yes, amazing. Great. Now I will definitely put the links in this video so that people can get benefited. Okay. What are top 3 secrets which others can get as a cheat sheet and implement right now in their business and in their life?
Probably the most important one is to have a powerful guarantee. My mentor, Jay Abraham, called it risk reversal. And I can get you a link where we have a PDF and a free video on that for your tribe. Happy to do that, because I started doing guarantees when I was 23, which is a long time ago. That was before Google was around for you kids out there. Yeah. And I immediately massively increased my income and massively increased my clients' impact and my clients' satisfaction. And so having a powerful risk reversal, a powerful guarantee, allows you to charge more, make more, and get more impact. And for most entrepreneurs, that's like the Holy Trinity, right? It's like, okay, I can make more, I have happier clients, and they get more results. And part of the reason they get more results, and this is really important because you'll have a global audience with broadcasting from where you are, part of the reason they get more results is because they are committing more money. Right? In most societies, we value what we pay for. Yes. Should we? No. Something free should be worth just as much as something paid. But the cheaper it is, the less we value it. Yes. Especially on price. Free is different. Free can be valued, right? You give someone a new car, they'll appreciate it, right? But if you sell someone a car for $100, they're going to say, "What's up with the car, buddy? Like, what's wrong?" Or I say, "Well, it has 2 of the 4 wheels." So that's probably the single biggest strategy, regardless of the business you're in. And tied to that is to sell on value, not price. Sell on value, not price. And it doesn't matter where you are in the economic marketplace or what your services are. You should be selling as the best of, or a really good version of, not the cheapest of. The cheapest of, there's always someone who'll do it cheaper. Right? We're doing business with people in Bangladesh now, and they're bragging about how their economy is bigger than Pakistan now, right? Why? Because someone in Bangladesh will do it for 30% cheaper than someone in Pakistan will do it. Well, that's not a sustainable future for either of those two people, right? Selling it cheaper isn't a sustainable future. It might be fine for the factory owner who, takes advantage of that, in my opinion. But it's not fine for the individual. And for an entrepreneur, right, if you're packaging your wisdom or knowledge or your services, you want to be known to be awesome at what you're doing. And if you're awesome at what you're doing, you can charge more, you can guarantee results, right? And there's a guy yesterday in the summit who did the math on this. If you tripled your price and lost 2/3 of your clients because you tripled your price, you make more money.
Amazing. Yes,
And he went through
exactly.
the numbers on it, the actual profit and loss numbers, tripling the price and losing 2/3 of your customers. You make more money and you have way more time. So,
Yes,
so it's not, I'm not a fan of just raising price. You want to raise value when you raise price.
yes.
And the guarantee is one of the ways you can raise value. So that's what I would suggest as the most actionable idea. I was fortunate to learn that very, very young from a client, a prospect, who challenged me, and I put it into practice. And then all my mentors believed in it, and I used it, and I got very good at it, and now I teach it, and it's part of everything I've done for more than 20 years.
Okay, great. And I have learned a lot of things that were new for me. And because I take interviews, more people, and I learn a lot of things. And the things you told me were very new and very unique and valuable for me and for my audience as well. Thank you. And now I'm going to ask you one question. What is the single most failure in your professional life? What lesson have you learned, and how did you recover from it?
The single biggest failure, did you say?
Yes.
Well, that's easy. We took a company public on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and I turned $21 million in an IPO. That was what my stock was worth, into 10 million in debt in 6 easy months. That's how I describe it. It was dramatic. It was catastrophic. And I learned that there are 3 types of people in the world. There are sharks, dolphins, and carp. This is based on a book called The Strategy of a Dolphin. If you guys want to Google it and look it up, you can only buy it electronic. You can't buy physical ones. It's not in publication anymore, but it's worth getting. Sharks, dolphins, and carp. Sharks, kill or be killed. It's all about them, right? We all know sharks.
Yes.
Dolphins, team players. It's about fun. It's about win-win. It's about the tribe. And carp are the bottom fish that are always getting eaten by the sharks. You call up your buddy, how you doing? No, really? You got eaten again? Oh my God. Fred, you got eaten last week. What are you doing, man? You got to stop getting eaten by a shark. You know the type, right? So carp, dolphins, and sharks. We deliberately hired a shark to take over as CEO as we went public, because the public stock market is filled with sharks. We knew it was filled with sharks. So we thought, we'll get a shark to run the company, and that way he can compete. He can hold his own, right? What we didn't expect is that he would basically take all the money that was in the till, disappear, and the company would get delisted. And when you're delisted on the exchange, this is the Toronto Stock Exchange, once you're delisted, your stock is frozen. And once that happens, you can't raise money. You're done. It turned out it was like $50,000. It wasn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. We'd put millions into this project. But at that point, that 50,000 meant we couldn't get the accounting statements filed on time, and we were done. And so the big lesson, and this is like the biggest lesson of my business life, dollar-wise by far, is don't go into business with sharks.
Okay.
Don't go into business with sharks. They will eat you. By the way, even if you are a shark, don't go into business with sharks. But if you're a dolphin or a carp, I like to play with dolphins. If you're a dolphin, you do not want to go into business with a shark. You can promote a shark. You can support them, because there are a lot of the big name speakers and promoters out there, but do not go into business with them, because their true colors will come through, and their job is to eat you. That's their job, right? That's why they're a shark. And so you need to make sure you play with dolphins.
Okay, great. That was not a failure. That was a lesson for you. And it is the experience, and you learn from it. Okay. People who are watching this right now, how can they support you?
Best way is follow me on LinkedIn, Tom Matzen, Matzen, depending on where you live in the world. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll see links to the scholarship there as well, plus whatever we put for your people on your show notes here, Mohammed. Send people that you think have knowledge and wisdom, and they should be packaging their wisdom and getting out in the world. Send them to our scholarship program. We're looking for 10,000 people this year. That's a lot of people across the globe, and yet it's not a lot. So if you know of someone, send them there. We want to support them. We want to help them out, and it's all free. It's all on us.
Okay, great. What would you say as a final word?
Final words. If you're an entrepreneur, make sure that you're pursuing, in this crazy chaos right now, you're pursuing plans to be even better and even stronger on the other side. It's so easy to just sort of clamp down and wait and stick your head in the sand like an ostrich and just, or panic to the latest crazy story of the day, right? So easy to do that. But as entrepreneurs, we have a choice.
Yes.
We can react, we can hide, or we can be proactive. And my challenge to every single entrepreneur listening to this, or every single corporate person that should be an entrepreneur, knows they should be, now's the time to plan for that. Be ready so that as the craziness lifts up, not only are you surviving, but you're actually thriving. You're in better shape than before. Many, many amazing businesses are created in a recession because people run and hide. And while everyone else is running and hiding, those of us that are ready to serve and add value step up, and there's great opportunity on the other side. So, the Chinese have an image for chaos. It's two characters. One is danger and one is opportunity. That's where we're in right now. There's danger out there. It's real. You can't ignore the danger, but there's also opportunity. So my advice is focus on both, but put your effort on the opportunity.
Yes, great. Thank you, Tom, for sharing your wisdom with us on the behalf of Integrated Success Formula and my entire team. We really appreciate you. Stay blessed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.